is my first official YouTube broadcast, and I don't really know what I'm supposed to say, but the moments before it got me wondering what I would want to say to the world since the world is watching. And the only thing I could think of to say to everyone was that I'm sorry. Not that I'm sorry for something I did, that I think no inferiority complex involved, just that I'm sorry about the quality of the world for humans. I'm a human, you're a human, probably. And it's a bummer to be a human, so I'm sorry. And that sort of relates to a story I was going to tell. It's a pretty funny story, I think. Of course, I was there, so maybe it won't be as funny when I tell you about it, but I still think it's pretty funny. My friend Courtney and I were going to rent some movies, and Courtney and I have this habit of whenever something goes wrong, we shake our fists in the air jokingly and blame God. We don't really believe in God, but only when we're upset, I guess. But we were gonna rent some movies. We were gonna rent the movie 13 Ghosts and the movie Chicago. And first we went to the Blockbuster in town. It's like right near my house, and they didn't have 13 Ghosts, which is the first one we looked for. So we didn't bother going to look for Chicago because we were just gonna go to another Blockbuster, and we figured we'd get them both there. And then we went to another Blockbuster in another town. It was late at night already. It was pretty close to closing time for Blockbuster, and they didn't have 13 Ghosts or Chicago. And we were very upset and laughing, and other things had gone wrong that night. I can't really remember the details, but we were blaming God and laughing and looking at the movies that were available. And we chose some pretty ridiculous movies, and I call these movies God's Taste in Movies, and they talk about if I was ever to write a book, the first chapter would be God's Taste in Movies. And the movies that we got, pretty ridiculous. First one is Shrooms. It's a horror movie. It's terrible. Don't watch it. This is the last one we watched, actually, but we thought it was going to be somewhat good compared to the other movies. You haven't seen them yet, but I think you'll agree that this seems better. But it wasn't a good horror movie. It was pretty terrible, and we ended up fast forwarding through it to see what happened because we had already started it, and we just carried us. Second movie we got Evil Bomb. I actually quit smoking weed before this happened, and I was gonna smoke again that night before we watched. I didn't plan to earlier, but when we got these crappy movies, I was like, oh well, weed makes crappy movies better, so I'll smoke. And Evil Bong was actually a little funny, but still a really terrible movie. And the last movie we got is called Black Sheep Unrated, and right here it says, I don't know if you'll be able to read it, Claire. There are 40 million sheep in New Zealand, and they're pissed off, and got a nice picture of a sheep on the back, a sheep with a human foot in its mouth, and it's basically full of stuff like that. Or sheep are, you can guess, I guess, that sheep are attacking people. And this movie was actually the most enjoyable, even though it's a pretty terrible movie. It was really, really funny to watch it because we were just laughing somewhat at the movie and mostly at how terrible it was. I think that I can definitely call these movies God's taste in movies because if there were a God, he'd have to have a pretty great sense of humor. And if he was going to watch some human movies, he'd probably just want to laugh at how dumb humans are. And that's how that relates to it being a bummer to be a human being. Thanks for watching.